fighting or disagreeing or sharing your feelings is going to make the relationship better, not worse. And if it makes it worse, pack your shit or pack their shit and get out. And you know what? If that sounds harsh, well, think about this. If maybe they're going to overcome it and they're really the one, then guess what, my friends? They're going to fight for you. They're going to realize, holy shit, I fucked up. I just lost my person. I need to get my shit together. And then that deserves another chance. One, I used to give way too many chances. And if you tell someone you got one chance with me, if I give you a second chance, that was me being nice and giving you the benefit of the doubt. There's not a third chance. You lost me. Hi everyone, Janna here. Welcome to my show, Revived by Janna. As always, thank you for tuning in. So lately I have created a lot of content about relationships, and it just seems to be the creative downloads that I'm receiving at the time. And maybe because I get a lot of people that ask me questions about their relationships, and it's kind of crazy how that happens when you go through, some healing after a really bad divorce and, all of that kind of betrayal and things like that, right? So it's almost like people sense that energy about you, without maybe even knowing me that well. They just, for some reason, they feel really safe and guided to ask me relationship questions. And I'm always more than happy to give my advice, really wisdom. So, you can go to school and learn a lot of things, but school cannot teach you what life experiences can teach you. Now, again, you have an experience, but it doesn't mean it taught you anything. You actually had to choose to learn from the experience. Now, even experiences from our past, right? So you have all these experiences and you haven't healed from some of them, or you haven't learned from some of them. You can still go back and do that. You can replay it in your mind and ask, what was there for me to learn? But anyways, I want to talk today about relationships. And I have so much on my mind, and I just have so much to share on this. This topic is really near and dear to me. And, after you go through narcissistic abuse and, just the ultimate betrayal, it was a very long marriage. When you go through that and then you choose to learn and overcome, you learn so much. And when you learn how to deal and communicate with a narcissist, it changes the way you communicate in general. Like you level up times 10. Because the way that you have to think in order to communicate with a narcissist, knowing how they think, is just the complete opposite of how anyone else thinks that's not a narcissist. So anyways, that is why I have really good advice, because I have a lot of wisdom when it comes to relationships. And when I shattered all of my limiting beliefs, and I talk about this in my book, Unfuck Your Mind, it really, really just opened your eyes to people. And I mean, it's just like the blindfold is taken off, right? And you realize, you can look back at all your relationships and you're just like, what was I thinking? And as I wrote in my book, it's not that love is blind, it's the lack of love for ourselves that makes us blind. So there's things that I clearly see now that I know for certain I would not have noticed if it wouldn't have been for me going back and healing my inner child, shattering my limiting beliefs. Because I know that I didn't notice those things in past relationships, right? It's like, good Lord, like, how did you not see that? But anyways, my point is that once you've healed your mindset and you've shattered limiting beliefs, it is really, really, it's so easy to see others' limiting beliefs, others' insecurities and fears. And it's really hard, especially when it's someone that's close to you and that you love, to not just be like, hey, so I can tell you're super defensive. And like, I mean, you're telling a defensive person they're defensive. What do you think is going to happen? They're going to defend it. It just falls on deaf ears. And it's really hard because I know what freedom comes with shattering limiting beliefs. And I know the feeling inside and the difference in my life and in my happiness and in just everything, what I do, how I help people, how I show up. There's no comparison to that level when you shatter your limiting beliefs. And so you just want that for other people. But again, it's hard to point those things out because they just, people don't like to hear it, right? So anyways, here I am giving out a lot of relationship advice lately. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I just kind of wanted to give you a backstory as to, how that comes about and how the wisdom comes about. If you've listened to past episodes, then you know that I've said wisdom does not come with age. Wisdom does not come with experience. Wisdom, my friends, is only obtained when you choose to learn and overcome from an experience, from a painful season, from hurt. That's the only way you obtain wisdom. That's it. And the best teacher is life. The best teacher in life is your experiences when you choose to overcome them. You can go to school, you can study relationships, you can do psychology, whatever. You're going to be learning someone else's opinion based on whatever data they collected. There's no comparison to what you learn from going through the pain and the hell yourself. Not just the experience of it again, but choosing to learn from it. When you get hurt really bad, when you go through something really difficult and devastating, and then you choose to learn from it, the amount of patience and resilience and self-discipline and determination it requires to heal and to not give up and to stay in that process is a lot. So I say that so you understand I'm not giving you my opinion today. I'm giving you the straight up cold, hard truth. And I love questions. I really do. I try to answer all the questions that I get for the podcast. It's honestly the easiest way for me to answer questions is on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, and I always share my podcast episodes there. So let's dive into it. All right, let's talk about all things relationships, okay? And things that need to be in place for a relationship to work, all right? So, all relationships feel good in the beginning because if it started off bad, well, it never would have gone past the beginning, right? The reason you're in that relationship is because it started off really good. And they all do. And you get the butterflies and everything, feels good and they're the one. That's all normal, guys, right? That's pheromones, it's hormones, it's all that stuff that's going on in our bodies. But you have to make sure that it's not just a connection that is just a sexual connection, right? Maybe there's something there, but is it enough? Is it lust? How do you know if the relationship that you're in is lasting? And what do you do when you're done a certain way? So I'm going to dive into this. I never thought before I went through the heartbreak and betrayal from my divorce, I never ever thought that it mattered how you fought. You just don't want to fight, right? People view fighting as a negative thing, disagreeing, however you want to say it. A disagreement is merely just not having the same opinion on something, but a fight is when you're just, just running into each other and you're just not seeing eye to eye and you're not understanding each other and, someone's feelings probably got hurt, right? Fighting, my friends, is not bad in a relationship. It's quite healthy. And I'll tell you why, is that you need to know, in order to know if the relationship you're in is lasting, I'm going to tell you how you know. You know by how you fight. Never used to think that or believe it. I was one of those people who was like, oh, we're doing so good. We haven't fought. Well, that doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean anything. When I met my now husband, after going through all this crap, I told him that, like, I really need to see how we fight. And he's like, what are you talking about? We'll never fight. I'm like, no, we will, but I need to see how we fight, because until I do, I need to see that side of you, and I need to see how we communicate and how we mesh together. So if you cannot have a good argument that's healthy and productive, where you find a solution and it doesn't go south, if you cannot have a good, healthy argument that ends up making your relationship better, makes you understand one another better, they're not the one. And I look, I don't like to say that, because I of all people love to give people the benefit of the doubt. I just don't do that like I used to. The benefit of the doubt is not on that level, right? And it can hurt, because you can really, really love someone and they can really love you, but you can't make someone change, and you can't get someone to understand you or to see it your way. So how you fight in a relationship is your go-to sign for, is it lasting? The reason, my friend, is because if you cannot fight good, if it's going to go down the tit for tat and say something ugly and name calling and someone walking out and ignoring each other for days or a week, who has time for that? Don't waste your time. And if you're the person that's doing that, grow up. And let me tell you this, if someone ever walks out on you, if y'all have a disagreement or a fight and they leave and they walk away, or they go somewhere else, like, I don't care where it is, I don't care if it's to a friend's house, if they leave and walk out when things get tough, I'm going to tell you right here what you do. You're going to be really kind and friendly. You know why? Because you're going to help them out. You know how? You're going to help them out because you're going to go pack all their shit for them, nice and neat, and say, hey, I helped you out, because you don't get to walk back in the door. When you walk out the door, you don't walk back in. It's not a revolving door, my friends. If you allow someone to do that one time, it will happen again and again and again. And maybe you have already allowed it to happen over and over again in your relationship. It's not too late. It's not too late. Stop saying, well, if they do it again or next time. No, 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 no. Have respect for yourself and have boundaries. You don't love yourself or respect yourself if you allow someone to do that to you. Whoever is your soulmate or the one, it's going to be pretty obvious, because there's not going to be anything toxic, and they're going to be in your life because they're going to make a huge effort to be in your life. You're not going to fight ugly. Fighting or disagreeing or sharing your feelings is going to make the relationship better, not worse. And if it makes it worse, pack your shit or pack their shit and get out. And you know what? If that sounds harsh, well, think about this. If maybe they're going to overcome it and they're really the one, then guess what, my friends? They're going to fight for you. They're going to realize, holy shit, I fucked up. I just lost my person. I need to get my shit together. And then that deserves another chance. One, I used to give way too many chances. And if you tell someone you get one chance with me, if I give you a second chance, that was me being nice and giving you the benefit of the doubt. There's not a third chance. You lost me. You need to have boundaries, my friends. So if you cannot fight good, if it doesn't help the relationship, they're not the one for you. The other thing I want to talk about in relationships that's really, really important, okay, is what happens when you share your feelings to your partner, or you try to tell them how something they did made you feel that hurt you, that hurt your feelings. What happens? I'm going to tell you, there's only one thing that's acceptable is that they listen to learn. They listen to fix it. They listen to make it better. I don't want you to say, I'm sorry if you're going to do it again or if you don't really mean it. Sometimes people just say, I'm sorry because they just want to move on, but they don't even mean it. If I ever begin to say, hey, the other day, this really hurt my feelings. If I start that sentence and the person I'm telling it to goes, oh my gosh, what now? Or they roll their eyes or look away or just anything negative, do you know what I tell them and what you need to do? I say, okay, well, I was really hoping I could talk to you because this was really important to me. But I clearly, this is not the right time because I can tell by your actions and your expressions that you are not listening to understand. You're listening to defend yourself. And I can't talk to you and get through to you that way. So I'll come back or you come back and let me know when you're ready to listen. Guys, there's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's more important to listen than it is to talk. I will not have a conversation with someone if they are listening to defend. And you can tell because when you're talking to people and they're just like, okay, is it my turn? Is it mine? So, and I didn't interrupt you. Oh, fuck that shit. Go back to junior high, my friend. You need to be able to talk to your partner. You need to be able to tell them how something made you feel. And if their response is, but that's not what I meant. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. But I think I just told you you did. Someone who says that, once again, that is a defense mechanism. They're defending themselves instead of saying, oh, wow, that wasn't my intention, but I can see how that made you feel. And I'm really sorry. It won't happen again. I didn't mean to do that. That's different. But if it's just like, if they listen to you spill your heart and their response is, I mean, that's not how I meant it. Or I mean, like, that wasn't my intention. That right there is a defense mechanism. They're defending themselves and they are not taking responsibility. Eject. I might make it sound easy to just eject out of the relationship. I know it's not. But you know what? If that person is meant for you and you know your worth, hitting the eject button is going to make them straighten their ass up. And then it's going to make them show you that they're worth it because you are, and to give them another chance. But you need to know where you are in a relationship. Is someone just with you because it's convenient? They don't want to be alone? Or, just because? That's not the right reason to be in a relationship. All right, I'm going to leave this one here and then I will be talking more about this in future episodes.